Hello everyone. Anyone who's following me on Strava or anywhere else is probably wondering what's been happening in the last 2 days. The last ride I did was a 35-mile ride from midnight till about 3 in the morning. We've come to the conclusion that I'm just not going to get the record, so I've decided to stop. What's happened was I had a schedule to go on to get the record, and I'm just not doing enough. I'm getting further behind, and I don't think there's any way I can get back on it again. I think the only way I can do more is by getting faster, and the only way I can get faster is by doing less. But I need to do more and more, so I've decided to call it a day. So has the rest of the team. Everyone agrees that it's not in my interest to carry on. I don't want second best, I want best. It wasn't an easy decision to come to, and I don't like telling everyone this, and I really didn't want to stop, but we just come to the conclusion it's just not working. So, I'm really not happy about stopping. Most important of all, I'd like to thank everyone that's helped and encouraged me along the way. Everyone who's donated money and just come out on the side of the road and shouted at me, and all the people that have volunteered to host and give lifts, the motor transfers. So many people, more people than I know, have offered to help. I just want to thank everyone and all my sponsors. And also thanks to everyone who donated money, and all of my team that have helped me all through the year. And Chris Hopkinson and Idai, Mike Wallace, who left the team, but he was, it wouldn't have got started without him. Roger Cortis and Andy Morris and Leslie, who did all the got all the food and sort of looked after my home, plus Ian Hennessy and Phil Whitehurst, who sorted out all the website. It couldn't have happened without everyone. Plus Dave Barter, who did all the research and wrote helped write the last schedule, which I failed to meet. Next thing I'm going to do is just take time out and recover and decide what to do next. Thanks for all your help and support.
Thanks everyone for watching. As you've heard from Steve, he's made an announcement that he's withdrawing from the highest annual mileage record. It's with great regret that Steve's had to announce this, and we'd like to give you some background on how he's come to this decision. Before we get into that, I'll just introduce Dave. My name is Idai, Steve, Leslie's here, and Andrew's here as well. That's about half the team. Chris is not here, Phil's not here, Ian's not here, and Jenny are not here because they live very far away, but they're with us in spirit, and they've had a big contribution to the discussions that have taken place over the last 2 days. Before we go into any further detail, I'd just like to ask all Steve's individual sponsors to please discontinue any direct debits or standing orders that you have donating money to Steve. Please stop all donations as of now. We're truly thankful for all the financial help and all the moral support that Steve has had, but we do not need any further donations, so please stop any donations you might have going to Steve. The second thing we'd like to ask is that you all sign up to Steve's newsletter. There's a link on his website explaining how you can sign up to the newsletter. It's very easy, and that's really important because as of today, the 21st of January 2016, the 1-year time trial has ended, and there won't be regular updates anymore, and the newsletter will really be the best way to make sure that any further messages that sponsors need to know or that followers need to know will get to you. So please sign up to Steve's newsletter just so that he has a way of communicating with you should he have anything to tell you down the line. Thank you. Just to give you some background, we're really sorry that there's been very little communication since the beginning of yesterday, the 20th of January. What happened is that I'd come in the morning before Steve left to give him his mileage update, just so that he would know where he stood against the targets that he had. And he'd ridden for a full 24 hours and only had 3 hours of sleep. I made a judgment call, and I didn't feel he was safe to go out after such a long ride and so little sleep. And we in the team decided it was time to initiate a discussion regarding the continuation of the annual mileage record attempt. Steve did not tell us that he wanted to stop, but we felt that he had slipped far enough behind target, and we'll explain how these targets were reached and how we put them across to Steve. But we felt he had fallen sufficiently behind target that it was becoming unrealistic to expect to reach his total mileage target by the beginning of August, and we asked him to reconsider whether he should continue.
Okay, could you give us a talk through of what's happened over the last 48 hours?
I'll start by just saying yesterday morning, after dropping the children at school, as I do maybe once every 2 weeks or so, I popped in and saw Steve just to deliver the numbers against the plan, to let him know that he was 177 miles, I believe, behind plan.
It was a bit lower than that, but it was starting to get worrying.
So we thought that it was an orange flag and something we needed to tell him. But when I saw Steve, I realized that he'd ridden through the whole night, got back home at about 3:30, and he'd got up within 3 or 4 hours, and he was already out of the bath and ready to go. Like I said earlier, I didn't think it was a good idea. We had started a debate on whether it was time to start considering his position, and after we saw that he was in the state he was in, we didn't think it was a good idea for him to go out. So I asked you, Steve, to take the day to think through whether you still thought, with all the numbers that we'd given you, this was doable. And you can take over from here and just say what you felt at that stage and what you thought, because obviously it took you a long time to come to the decision. You didn't accept the decision, you didn't accept that option, right, when it was given to you. You needed time to debate it.
Yeah, I just thought the wise thing to do was take a rest and maybe be faster the next day. Because I knew that going out after so little sleep, after what I'd done, I was going to be absolutely crawling along, and you start a vicious circle where you go ride slower and you have to do more hours to do the distance, and you get less sleep, so you get more tired. Well, if I could get faster by having a bit of a rest, I could do the same distance in fewer hours and get more sleep, and hopefully be able to build the speed up.
And you thought it would be a possibility that you might be able to make up a day's worth of miles?
Over the course of 200 days, yeah, that works out as another mile a day.
So you were, and how did you come to the conclusion that maybe it was time to reconsider? Because obviously you were given a number of options to think through, and you had ideas of your own. We'd come to the point where we thought that it probably wasn't tangible anymore.
Yeah.
How did you come to that point?
Well, I was starting to think there, having a day off, it's looking pretty shaky. I was behind schedule. I'm not up to speed. I've never felt that I've got up to speed during the whole attempt. Mm-hmm. I've never felt like I've been going well. I didn't start it fit. I thought with the original plan, I thought I'd actually get fit during the attempt, but I think there was never enough recovery time because of the lack of speed right from the start. If I was fitter when I started it and to go a bit faster, I'd have got more sleep at the start and recovered more. I mean, that's what I think would have happened. We don't actually know because it never happened.
But why now and why not before? Because there have been times where it's been you've had sort of highs and you've had some terrible lows. And so why now did you decide that it was time to stop
But
rather than?
it was just looking impossible to get the record because I couldn't see how I could improve. The only way I could see myself improving was by doing less and recovering. And I couldn't do less because I had to do more. I had to start actually doing more. The schedule for now was 205 a day, which I wasn't meeting, and I've soon got to get up to 225. And you know, if I'm struggling to do 200, how am I going to do 225?
Yeah.
And I think
The only possibility of me getting 225 is by going faster. I couldn't do more hours.
And we were monitoring Steve's averages and working out that the only way he was going to meet the schedule was by eating into his sleep.
Yeah,
And it was getting to the point where
no,
he had no
I was
contingency.
pretty much on the limit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
And the only way to get faster is by sleeping more.
Yeah.
Which I can't do because I'm too slow.
Yeah, the pros outweigh the pros of stopping outweigh the cons.
Basically snookered.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense, Steve. But I think it's important to say that you know, I watched you go through an evolution since yesterday morning, which is nearly 2 days ago, and it did take you a long time to accept it, which I can understand because you've been so geared into this lifestyle.
I really don't want to give it up.
Yeah, but you look quite normal to us now. How do you actually feel? Are you really tired?
I'm tired. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing really hurts, but my legs are just not up to it. You know. They're definitely not recovered.
Yeah.
And I'm just cheesed off that that it didn't work out.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get fit before I started because I had so much to do to actually get to ride.
Yes.
And I was doing 16 hours flat out on the computer every day just so I could get to ride. That's for 2 months.
Yeah. This was before you started at the end of 2014.
Yeah, the funny thing was that everyone was saying how fat I was before I started.
Yeah.
Well, I actually lost 5 kilos in the 2 months before. Not because I was training, it was because I was starving myself because I had so much to do to get ready.
Yeah.
I just didn't have time to eat.
Yeah, I remember how busy you were at that time. It was incredible, but it was exciting as well.
I started unfit.
Yeah.
And I just didn't have the speed to start with to do the distance in few enough hours.
Unfortunately, you hadn't appointed your home manager at that point.
Yeah, well, everything was done in absolute, rush.
Yeah. Andrew, do you remember when Steve bonked on the first day? When he did a time trial and he bonked on the first day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was tired when I started at midnight.
Yeah. Yeah, that was
because I had so much to do.
Yeah.
But let's not forget that in your first months, you gained a hell of a gap on Godwin. On Godwin's figures, there were points when you were thousands of miles ahead of him.
I got up to 2,500 before I got hit by the moped. Yeah.
And so that accident has been pivotal to this year, and we'll never know what would have happened had you not had to go through that accident.
I think the only way I was going to get the record was in the winter miles, because I don't think to do more than what Tommy Godwin did in the summer. That was, that's something what Tommy Godwin did in the summer.
It was extraordinary. But you had a head start on him, and then the accident happened.
I think the only way I was going to get it really, more certain way of doing it was by doing it in the winter. Yeah. Having a better winter than Tommy had.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because what he did in the summer was unbelievable.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's what it is. It's what it is. And is there anything else that stands out from your first record attempt, apart from the fact that you think you started unfit? Is there anything else you would have done different, or you think it's just you would have started it fitter and faster?
Yeah, that was a real main thing, because I just never got to the tipping point where I could use the speed I had to actually get even faster. Yeah. Because I was just doing too many hours right from the start to not recover enough to get faster. Yeah. I mean, it's very basic training. You don't get fit from exercise, you get fit from recovery, and there just wasn't enough recovery. Yeah.
Part of your plan at the beginning of the year, you were quite happy to take on sort of more hillier routes because you felt that, I think you said that your best 24-hour time or distance is over a hillier course. You were quite happy to take on the hillier routes. Do you think you'd have been better off riding on the flat more then?
It was more finding the routes that work best with the wind. I was trying to find the flattest routes possible, but it was just trying to work it out with the wind as well. And when I started in January, I was starting at 4 in the morning, so the wind was strongest at midday. So I could spend half the day riding into the wind when it was weakest. The main part of the day with a tailwind when it was strongest, and come back into the wind when it was weakest. Well, that was the basic idea. But I found out that I found a better way of doing it by riding into the fens and using the tailwind in the fens, where it's much more open than coming back through Thetford Forest. On the more sheltered roads of Bedfordshire and that.
I mean, that was always the summer plan, was to basically decamp to East Anglia.
I was thinking the wind would drop in the summer, but it turned out to be one of the windiest years on record.
Yeah, it was windy.
So I never really got a good summer. The winter wasn't too bad. It was icy, and I had a lot of problems with ice on the roads. I rode with someone and he came off and broke his hip.
I remember.
Ice was a real big problem, because I couldn't. I had to be careful where I went, and I was quite often stopping in the road just to check the road was wet, not icy.
Yeah.
I couldn't just blast through it. If you hit ice, you've had it. That's the whole attempt out the window. If same thing happened to me as what happened to Jack.
I think it was quite impressive that you rode more miles than anyone else in the country, and yet you didn't actually fall off because the black ice was quite tough.
I came off once, and that was with Jack.
Yeah, I remember that time.
We both came off in the same corner, but I didn't break my hip.
Yes.
It's basically because I was more nervous about ice on the road than he was, and he was going faster than me.
Okay. Makes sense.
What do you think has been the real high point, and what do you think you'll take from the attempt?
Everyone I've encouraged, and everyone who's come out to see me. I know that I've inspired a lot of people. That means a lot to me, really. To me, I'm just going out on my bike every day doing what I do, and people are saying, well, I think the biggest one is Michael Broadwood, the national 24-hour champion. He decided to have a go at 24-hour just from watching what I was doing, and I've never seen anyone ride a 24 like he did. He could get the world record, I think.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great.
It'd be really good to see him go on and get the world record, because I think he could do it.
It's really great that you've inspired all these people, but most of all, in a way, you've inspired everybody here and everybody in your team. It's been absolutely fabulous.
Yeah, it's been great. It's been great assisting you.
That sounds daft to me, because to me I failed.
You haven't.
No, wait, no.
I went for the record and I didn't get it.
Yeah, but Dave mentioned some
There's
outcomes
a legacy from what you've done now, Steve.
Yeah.
You've kicked it off. Kicked it off, and you have got a record. You've not got the one you wanted, but you have got a record, and other people are going to get these records, and you may even come back and take it again some point further down the line. But it's because you kicked it off.
Yeah, you gave it a good effort, Steve, and you never quit. You never backed down. That was really impressive. You never backed down.
I think it's the circumstances that were against me.
Yeah.
A lot of it. And, one of those circumstances was me not being fit enough right from the start.
Yeah.
And the trouble is, it was all into the unknown.
Yeah.
I was expecting to get fit during the attempt, and I didn't.
Yeah.
How could I have possibly known?
Yes.
Who trains riding sort of 16 hours a day?
No, you had no way of knowing. You had to find out.
So little sleep to recover. I wasn't riding at high intensity, but you don't know unless you try.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But you've set the bar.
And I still think that if I never got hit by the moped, there was a chance that I would have just scraped it.
I think you could have done it. I think even though you're a bit slow, you could have done it
by a lot.
Yeah, I think you could have done it. I'm still of that belief, but we will never know, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. Do you want to talk, Steve, about your second record attempt, a bit about how you approached this? You started this on the 8th of August, I believe. What were your thoughts? You obviously knew that you were starting from the beginning during the longest days and the best riding days, so you were at a slight disadvantage.
Well, it could end on the good days as well, so I could just keep steady until the winter and survive the winter, then sort of launch an attack in the summer.
Yes.
And hopefully with the little fit, I did gain a little bit of fitness.
Yeah.
And hopefully that was just enough to, for me to be fast enough to recover enough to build on that fitness during the winter and early spring, and launch an attack in the summer and just go all out and do as many hours as I could, and hopefully riding faster than I had done for all year.
And I recall that in October, at the beginning of October, you had actually reached an overall average of 205 miles exactly per day. So you were bang on target at the beginning of October. How did things change at that point? I know you'd had a bit of an illness just after you started in the first month.
Yeah,
but you came back.
After PVP, I got it's only a minor illness, but
yeah.
I think with the riding I was doing, it sort of poleaxed me again.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the day after a 270 mile ride from the ferry,
mm-hmm.
I could only do 30 miles because I was just, I was just dead.
Yeah. But you came back and you took it up to 205.
Yeah, it took a long time to get back.
Yeah, it took you a month to get back.
I think normally it would have taken a couple of days, but
yeah.
with all the riding, it just took so long.
Yeah.
I think all the riding just slows everything down.
Yeah.
Any recovery.
Of course, because your body's just struggling to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you what happened then? Because in October things changed.
Pains in my legs.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know what that was.
Yeah.
I think it's just muscle damage, but we don't know.
Yeah.
You're going to get aches and pains doing this sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That slowed me down quite a lot.
And I recall there came a point where we started to search for dietitians and physiologists to help you when this was happening to you.
Yeah.
I led on that. I interviewed a few dietitians and physiologists, and I came to you with a specific guy that had been recommended by a couple of long distance cyclists and who's dealt with a lot of high level athletes. The reason I chose him was because he was the only one who actually said he would make physical investigations to see what might be wrong with you. All the others just said they would give you certain supplements.
Yeah, or a diet plan.
That's right. But this guy said, I will actually test him scientifically. I'll test his breathing. I will test his physiology. I'll do every athletic blood test, and we'll even test his blood for which diet suits him best, and then we'll make an assessment. So we went in and we saw this physiologist, and he did all these tests. He picked up that your kidneys and your liver were stressed, and he thought that you might be pushing your liver towards a pre-diabetic type condition. He recommended a diet that has never been used on an athlete trying to ride 200 miles a day, but that he believed that if you had the willpower, you might be able to implement it while still riding.
Yeah, it was a bit experimental.
Yeah.
It's all been tried and tested, but just not on someone who's
still
riding,
training,
trying to do 200 miles a day.
Yeah.
The problem is there aren't many test subjects, are there?
No.
That's right. Now I'll just say
two potential people on the planet at
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah, I'll say a bit about the diet first, Steve, and then I'll ask you how you feel about it. Basically, what they came up with was, first of all, a diet that was designed for your genetics and your blood type and some various other features. But the main feature of it was that you had to eat foods that were slow to digest.
Yeah.
Very slow to digest, so that you
Slow
wouldn't have
release.
sugar in your blood, and you'd be basically using fat for most of your energy.
Yeah, it's slow release, so
That's right.
I can eat. I don't have to keep eating all the time.
But how do you feel it went? I mean, now that this is all over and you're looking back on this, how do you feel that actually went?
I actually felt a lot healthier from it, but the trouble was it took so long to adapt to it.
Yes.
Is it the adaptation really hammered the miles? And it cost us about 1,000 miles.
Yeah.
And then I had stomach troubles afterwards, which I'm still not sure exactly what the cause of that was.
Yeah, we couldn't find an exact cause when we went to the gastroenterologist.
We tried, having tests at the hospital. We still don't really know what the cause of that was, and it did make a big difference. So.
How do you feel about this setbacks?
I would like to say it wasn't any of my cooking.
No, yeah, no, it wasn't Leslie's cooking, but but Steve, how do you feel about it? I mean, do you feel? I mean, you've had so many setbacks. You were hit by a motorcycle. You had to go onto a diet that kind of slowed you down. After that, you got ill, really ill for 2 weeks just before Christmas.
I think I'm just born lucky.
But okay, I think that's that bit covered. I think that's that bit covered, and then you transitioned. Then this new year started. You had the plan from Bennett that David fashioned and improved slightly to just hit the record.
Yeah, but we were right on the limit then. You know,
Yeah.
the only way it's going to work is for me to get faster.
Yeah.
And the only way I'll get faster is by recovering.
Yeah.
By having more time not riding, and because I had so much to do. And it's like I said earlier with snooker, basic training, you get fit and fast from recovery. If you haven't got time to recover, it's the classic overtraining. You know,
Yeah.
you don't get stronger from overtraining.
Yeah.
And let's be clear that we needed that plan to help make a decision that was
Yeah.
devoid of emotion,
Yeah,
but
that's
but
right.
it was based on numbers, and if
facts.
you couldn't hit those numbers, then
Yeah.
it was not going to happen, and that's what the plan did for us.
Yeah, and we started with the low numbers,
Yeah.
and it had to build up. And it's like I said with snooker, because I've got to get faster to get the bigger numbers. No, I wasn't getting faster because I wasn't fast enough now to recover.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still think you did a sterling job under the conditions, under your physical conditions. Your mind never gave in. Even though
I could have kept going, but I'm just never going to get
those big
doing enough
miles.
miles.
Yeah, yeah,
You know, and I'm not going for second best. I'm going for the record.
yeah.
You know, people ask you what I did for the fourth best I did. I don't know the exact numbers. To be honest, I don't really care about being fourth.
No.
I always wanted to be first.
Yeah.
First best in the your age category.
He's just setting a reminder. I think we're all really proud of what you've done,
Yeah.
Steve, and
Absolutely.
we think we've all learned things, and there are things that could have been done better. I think
Yeah,
we don't know,
Well-
but we think you gave your best. You went out there and rode as hard or as far as you could.
I did in the circumstances. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know, if I'd have been fitter, I could have done better.
yeah,
But you know, I was lucky to get the chance to ride in the first place.
Yeah.
You know, in theory, it should have never even worked out. You know, it was all done by the skin of the teeth, literally.
yeah.
But there are just so many people. who
When-
are just
when I
so
set off-
proud, weren't they? There's
When I
so
set off, we didn't even know if I'd have enough money to do the whole year.
No.
You know,
But that's the
I'd
thing. You're an
take a chance.
optimist. You're
I was
optimistic.
so lucky to get the chance.
Yeah, yeah. Well done, Steve. I think thanks for sharing your insights with us about this. I think there are lots of people who want to know these things and just want to get more insight into what you've been through. We know you couldn't tell them everything all the time because these things were still happening. We were still assessing everything. But thank you for telling everybody. Thank you for consolidating with us and half the team here. You know, for us, you know, we've always been your friends and we're still here and you're not alone. And I know it's going to be a long stretch ahead while you relax.
So Steve, there's a lot of people that will be wondering what next.
Right now it's just recover. You know, I'm really knackered. You know, the last 2 days I've spent mostly asleep or eating. I'll probably be doing that for a few more days.
Yeah.
Then get checked out by the doctors and probably think about doing some proper training and getting back out on the bike again. But I don't know what I'm going to do. I've got a few ideas, but just take it a step at a time.
Yeah, I don't think you should rush into anything. I think you really
No.
need to give yourself time.
Yeah, you know, I'm tired of it. You can't sort of make plans when you're tired. And,
No.
you know, you're not really thinking very straight, you know.
No, I think you're doing the right thing. Take a few
Yeah,
months.
there's no
Take a few
point
months.
rushing into things. It's not as if we've got to rush into anything now.
No.
You know, what I was committed up to August, so
Yeah.
the sort of diary is quite blank until August at the moment.
No, that's great. Well, thank you, Steve. Thank you so much for everything you've done, everything you've put in, and for always being open, always being honest, and just being yourself. Thanks.
Well, I've got to thank everyone for all the support I've had. So it wouldn't have happened. You know, people say that I've sort of started it off, but I didn't do it on my own. You know, I've had so much help from everyone.
Yeah.
it wouldn't have happened.
Great.
Steve, I've got some things to help you with your recovery.
Nice.
I think bought you some sausages.
That's a,
Different ones as well.
Yeah, I'll just go and cook those.
Leslie's got it to roll.
I bought you some easy bike rides.
That's nice.
And
That's beautiful.
And now you're out of the UMCA guidelines. I've also brought you something to help you sleep.
I'll go and hide that somewhere.
He probably only needs a lid full now. Ah, fantastic.
I just need to smell that and not be out.
Yeah, just look at it and you'll be out. Well, what's more to say? I think. Thank you.
Well done, Steve.
Thank you.